Oop, we don't need Bill Withers up there. There we go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever or whenever you may be. This is the overnight. I am DM Foss, and with me is Baron SVG. How you doing, Baron?
Doing pretty good.
Well, that's good to hear. So hopefully we'll make it through the whole chat tonight. I've already had my internet drop once. So right now it says I have a good connection.
If you disappear, I can talk about the Salem witch trials for a little bit.
But it says I have an excellent connection right now, so hopefully that holds up. And then any background noise, there's a furnace right there, but it's about 30 degrees outside, so I can't shut that off. Otherwise, my wife and kids will freeze. I don't think it shouldn't be too loud. So hopefully, but there at the bottom of the screen is there's an email address and a link if you want to send in comments, suggestions, or pictures within reason. You can get there through those. And if you watch this in replay, be sure and leave a comment. Let me know you're out there and anything we talk about. If you agree, disagree, think we left something out, let me know. And then in the description, there's not a link for the Gilded. I forgot to put it in there. But the link will get you to the Gilded, won't it?
The overnight.live.
Yeah. And that's a place, you can hang out, chit chat, share pictures, memes, stuff like that.
Call me a communist.
And you can get a hold of either Baron or myself there. So tonight,
and some of the other YouTubers you may know.
Yep.
We may or may not have the Yankee Marshal on there.
Well,
heavily, probably not.
Yeah. We're doing the 6th and 7th Amendments tonight. Oh, before I forget, there won't be a Wednesday chat. This coming up.
Not on this channel, anyway.
Yeah, I have to work again, so we'll have to. I'll have to skip this week, and then hopefully we'll get back to it again the week after that. And in the morning, I'll probably do at least part of a fill-in chat for Gizzard Gary. He's in Tulsa at the Wanamaker Gun Show. So he's not going to do his chat, so I'll probably do at least a couple hours. Depending on how sleepy I am. We'll see. But so let's take a quick look who was out there. G23 was first. PNW Woods was out there. He was saying go Cougs earlier. Gun websites. Misha N. Artak and Daughters. 2 Live Moo. And Wesley Foster. Schmaggy. And I think that's everybody for now.
Gun websites?
Yeah, I thought I said gun websites. If I didn't say it, I was thinking it. Yeah. 2 Live Moose saying work is for suckers. I'm a sucker. I got bills to pay. But so can you call up the 6th Amendment and read it?
I can. Let me get it. This is one of those long ones, isn't it?
It's not that long.
Oh boy. Here we go. Sixth Amendment. In all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury of the state and district wherein the crime shall have been committed, which district shall have been previously ascertained by law, and to be informed of the nature and cause of the accusation, to be confronted with witnesses against him, to have compulsory process for obtaining witnesses in his favor, and to have assistance of counsel in his defense.
Yeah, this one, there are a lot of Supreme Court cases. If we went through all of them, you're looking at least a 6-hour chat. So I pared it down to one. There's, I think, broke it down into the four sections that this covers, and then one or two Supreme Court cases to talk about it for the Sixth Amendment. It's there's a lot. I mean, a lot. But there's one of them. I didn't pull the cases. I just put the Annenberg classroom, which we referenced. Was it last week? Or the week before we went through their timeline. Well, yeah. They do a pretty good job of giving you a thumbnail sketch of what happened when, and then references court cases within there. But for the speedy trial, the right to a speedy and public trial by impartial jury. And these are all, most of the Constitution is a direct reaction to the English Crown and their court system, where they would they had set laws, but then they, it's the king is can do whatever he wants, just about. So, they could snatch you up and then hold you, and
they would snatch you up in America and send you back to England to face trial. Crazy.
Yeah. So for the right to a speedy trial, I have Barker v. Wingo. And let me... So for that one, there were 5 years of delays in that case. And so Barker argued that that was a lack of a speedy trial.
So, I would say so. God damn.
Well, yes and no.
5 years.
When it got to the Supreme Court, they ruled that there is no set amount of time for a trial to qualify as speedy.
Of course.
Yeah. Instead, the court rules that a number of factors can be used to decide whether the Sixth Amendment right was violated. The length of the delay, the reason for the delay, the defendant's request for the right, that is, did he or she protest during the delay, and whether the delay hurt the defendant's ability to receive a fair trial.
So was he in jail that entire time?
That I'm not sure. I don't recall if it said in what I had read. I would think actually there's probably a good chance he did. I don't have the full details on the...
What's the case called?
Barker v. Wingo.
Barker.
So it was a murder case, and
Fuck. Home invasion. They murdered an elderly couple. You know, I feel bad. I'm like, oh, he took 5 years to get him a trial. It's like, oh, he murdered old people. God damn it.
but there were 11 continuances in that case. Or no, there were more than that. That's his counsel recommended that he didn't object to the first 11, but there were 14, I think.
We probably couldn't object because a kid hit him in the head with like a phone book, right?
Oh no, there were 16 continuances.
But even murderers have constitutional rights. So
yeah, and I had said I don't know which, a couple chats ago, about a lot of these cases that involve people that aren't really good people.
yep.
I don't know, I don't know the finer details in this, so I can't assign value to this person, but the cases themselves usually aren't dealing with good things that happen. They're not saving puppy dogs and then going to the Supreme Court. But you have to look at the issue and not what happened in the trial cases.
Yeah.
Because these may free someone whose rights were violated, but aren't good people, and maybe had even done whatever crime they were convicted of. But this protects everyone else who is innocent, and the state wants them to be in jail because they don't like them. That's what your constitutional rights, all of them, in different ways, protects you. Limits the power of the state to abuse the citizens. Yeah, I just totally lost where I was. But so the court ruled that the speedy part of the speedy trial can be affected by circumstance, and so there's no, it's not like 30 days and then it's no longer a speedy trial. And you can also waive your right to a speedy trial, and then allow the court to push it down to a later date. I knew somebody that did that just because he didn't want to go to jail, because he was going to go to jail. So he waived his right because he knew it would, his case would be set farther in the future, and then he would be free longer.
Would he though? I mean, you spend the same amount of time in jail.
Well, no,
It's just
he didn't have to go to jail yet.
Yeah.
So
but if you go to jail sooner, you get out faster.
Yeah. Well, I'm not saying it. He had a tendency to make bad choices. So that's the same as the guys that you see. They know they're going to go to jail, so they run from the cops. Just to
let's add another felony.
Just to delay it that much longer, if it's for another hour, another half hour, 15 minutes, to them it's worth it.
That was a unanimous decision, by the way, by the Supreme Court.
Yeah, and if you ever look up the Supreme Court decisions, it's interesting to look at the dissents also. to see what the judges who ruled against an issue, their reasoning.
Oh, is our feed dropping?
Uh-oh.
Or is that G's feed is dropping? Been having weather, we'll call it, on the West Coast.
Yeah, I'm not sure. He might be behind also.
Oh, it's his internet. We're good.
Oh, okay. So the right to an impartial jury. This is one where I just put the link for the Annenberg Classroom.org for their timeline because there were so many cases and they had to do with like women being able to be on a jury or blacks being on a jury, or so that it's a representation of the community and the peers of the accused. So I didn't feel like going through all those cases. So I just put the link for the classroom. And again, that's it's hard to search on their website. So if you get in there and then you want to find like, the Fifth Amendment stuff, I can't figure out how to get there that way. So I'll Google whatever amendment and then Annenberg Classroom, and usually get there that way. Not all of them have come up, but it's a pretty good resource, I think.
What do you think? Is it even possible to get an impartial jury anymore? I mean, they're going to cover the crime on the news. Then they're going to cover your arrest, and they're going to have photos of you being handcuffed and shoved into a police car. In everyone's mind, you're already guilty.
Yeah. That happens with rape accusations. Even if you're falsely accused, once your name gets out there as being accused, then guys become, he's the rapist guy, even though, it was a false accusation. That came up with the lacrosse team. Was it Yale lacrosse?
Or Harvard, one of those Ivy League ones.
But they had a party and then paid
was it a stripper?
Yeah, paid a stripper to come in, and then she accused them of raping her, and it went to trial, but then came out later that she lied to get money from them. But their reputations were trashed. Even after they were acquitted, on campus, I saw interviews with
Duke. It was Duke.
With female students who still said it didn't matter, and I don't know if it still carries on to today, but just the accusation, so it was, it was a huge news story. And then there are times where the federal government seems to really like to do this, the what they call the perp walk, where they get the cameras crews out. They tell them we're going to go do this, so the camera crews are there and video them, bringing somebody out in handcuffs because they want that press. And that's why you get the sequestered jurors, where they put them in hotel rooms and don't allow them, tell them don't look at the news. They can't talk to other people.
Not supposed to anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. How well that works, who knows?
Yeah, I'm of the opinion it's impossible to get a completely impartial jury. There's going to be one person at least on everyone that isn't.
Yeah. And then also that's why there's change of venue. To move it to another, another city where maybe they don't know the story as well. To bring back some of the impartiality.
Here's a good one. So, an impartial jury of the state and district wherein the crime shall have been committed. So, have you heard of the zone of death in Yellowstone National Park?
I had heard of it and I looked at it and I don't remember exactly.
So basically, like there was an act of Congress that said that the Yellowstone National Park would be like covered by the district court in Wyoming, I think. And it included a part of Idaho. So it's in conflict with the U.S. Constitution, where if you committed a crime in the sliver of Idaho, they would try you in Wyoming, which is unconstitutional.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that if you did that, they'd figure out a way around it, and or just ignore constitutionality. And
Like, oh, he fell down a staircase and landed on some bullets. Weird.
yeah, yeah. Let me say hello to Andrew Carmichael, who's across the pond. G23 saying it's harder to get a change of venue. And what's it saying? The price you can pay for your lawyer is directly coordinated with the success of outcomes. Yeah, we'll get to that in the last part of this. The court-appointed attorneys.
Or even worse, these people that try to be their own counsel. Yikes, that doesn't go well.
Yeah, not usually. Because usually they're kind of crazy.
You don't say.
Yeah. Which I think comes up in one of was it because I came across that where if you're crazy, they're not supposed to let you defend yourself. But again, that'll be in the last part here. So you're right to front and call witness. I don't think I have Maddox. Yeah, give me just a second. I don't have that one up. Maddox versus. Where'd you go? Versus U.S.
While you're finding that, I just got done completing pinning the front sight base on the barrel of a Colt 9mm SMG build. Going to be pretty sweet. It's got a 10-inch barrel. Need to figure out the lower, though. I got Colt mags. I just need to figure out what type of tube. Am I going to just do a pistol tube? Am I going to put a brace on it? I don't know. Got any opinion on that? Brace or not to brace?
Yeah.
Kind
I'm
of
not
a
sure.
sketchy area of the law at the moment.
Yeah. There was supposedly supposed to be an announcement in next month we'll see what happens, because that should any ruling they make should be overturned based on both the EPA ruling, Supreme Court ruling, which does not allow government agencies to
Chevron deference.
Yeah, it removes Chevron deference. And then the New York Rifle and Pistol Association ruling, which sets how courts are supposed to look at the Second Amendment. So the braces should be allowed, or short-barreled rifles should be allowed.
Ooh. That is going to be fun. With the upper, it's a slick side carry handle. And it's got a triangle hand guard, the carbine length. It's pretty sweet. I'll have to take a photo and put it on Gilded when we're done.
Definitely. We got Caucasian Sasquatch who's out there. Good evening.
I also learned an important lesson. Never trust a free drill bit. Free drill bits are shit. Throw them away.
Yeah, I was hoping to do a quick read on this one, but I grabbed a long explanation of the case.
Well, while you're reading, for the lower, I got Colt mags. They're converted from Uzi mags. You ever seen those?
I don't think so.
They're double stack, double feed. Pretty sweet. Super easy to load. They're like 32 rounds, which I had before the law changed. Don't come knocking at my door.
Okay, so the Maddox versus United States. This one's from 1895.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Clyde Maddox was convicted of murdering John Mullen. I think it was in the Indian Territories. I think one of the summaries I read said that. But by the time the trial happened, two of the witnesses had died. So
died or murdered?
Died. So I think there was an initial trial and then a second trial. Yeah. So in between the two trials, two of the witnesses had died. So he wasn't able to face his accusers. And I got to find I didn't write down.
So is that an actual strategy? Murder all the witnesses, then you cannot be tried because there are no witnesses against you.
That's what the mob
I guess that makes sense. Sounds like the plot of a movie.
But it does happen. Gangs and, the mob.
Do you think Harrison Ford would be a good lead for that movie?
So what was I got to find the outcome.
Gun Websites likes Harrison Ford, doesn't he? If I remember that right.
I would think so.
Who hates Harrison Ford?
Well, if you believe the rumors, Kathleen Kennedy does.
Oh, really? Wonder why. Is she like the one that shut that door on his ankle, broke his leg?
No, she's the one that was in charge of the last 3 Star Wars movies and is in charge of the new Indiana Jones movie. And
Oh no, they're making another one.
well, the leaks of the possible leaks, we'll say, of the script. Indy goes back in time, meets his younger self, and they both get killed.
What?
And a female reporter becomes Indiana Jones, and Harrison Ford, the Jones is erased from time.
Sounds amazing. It's going to be a hit.
Yeah, but yeah, I won't go see it.
I'm going to pay money. I love seeing all my favorite characters from my childhood killed in horrible ways. Rambo, he needs to be next, right? They need to kill him. Kill him in like the opening credits.
So, I'm not sure what the Supreme Court ruled.
Did he kill all the justices and then there was no one to rule for him on his case? You did bring up something. Well, you triggered a thought in my head. Indian territory. So how does the Constitution apply to reservations?
I'm not sure.
Can you open a gun shop at a Indian reservation?
Well, I have heard somebody discuss that before, where having the tribes make machine guns because they're a sovereign nation.
I feel like that was me.
That might have been you. I know it was somebody.
That was totally me. I was going to move on to an Indian reservation to open a machine gun rental with no license. The sarcasm. Don't knock at my door.
So it looks, hopefully I've got this right, because I can't find a good summation of this, but I think it was allowed because there was the transcripts from the original trial and the stenographer notes. So we're going to go with that for now, because I don't know why this one's being so difficult. Yeah, I sat down to go through earlier in the week, look up some cases for this, and then found that at some point in earlier, I had gone through and I had like 3-4 pages of court cases I had already looked up that I forgot that I had looked up.
So G23 is saying Indian reservations are sovereign. I got a question. You saw like that those ads for California, like the Indian gambling ballot measure. It was like for sport betting and table bets. Did you see that?
I don't think I did.
If they're sovereign, why do they need to have a ballot passed through the state to change what they're allowed to do on an Indian reservation? That doesn't make sense to me.
Well, Woods was saying each treaty is different and sovereign as long as they comply with the feds. So basically, do what you want, but we're watching. If they break their treaty, will they send in the army to take the land back?
Maybe.
Man. All right, we're just gonna move on because
moving on.
Yeah, That's kind of weird. But so in that, within that case, the Supreme Court set. There were three things that came out of that. To ensure witnesses would testify under oath and understand the serious nature of the process, to allow accused to cross-examine witnesses who testify against them, and to allow jurors access to assess the credibility of a witness by observing the witness's behavior. So if the witness has the shifty eyes, it's okay not to believe them.
Yeah, and they make you swear in under oath that you will not lie. And there's a penalty if you're found to be lying. What I always wondered is how they were able to do the whole put your hand on the Bible and swear before God you'll tell the truth. How does that work?
What do you mean?
Well, separation of church and state. You're having everyone do their oath that they'll tell the truth over the Bible. Not everyone's Christian.
Yeah, well, that's
Like, do you get to choose?
good important word. Uh-oh.
You're cutting out.
Blink there for a second. Yeah. Hold on. Well, that's like the is it the Senate or the House that has the prayer?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was earlier this year. Somebody brought that up. Was looking to try and get rid of it under separation of church and state. I don't think it got anywhere. Just it was, if I recall, it was viewed as tradition. G23 saying they did away with the Bible.
Is it some movie thing? I mean, I swear I've seen them do that recently.
I don't know. It's been a while since I've been on jury duty, and I don't really remember. I would think maybe they probably just have them raise their hand and say, do you swear?
Do you promise to tell the truth?
Yeah.
The whole truth and nothing but the truth?
No foolsies.
Yep. But like if you're just going down this thought process, if you're Jewish, would they have you swear in with the Torah?
Well, if you're Church of the Spaghetti Monster, Flying Spaghetti Monster, do you swear in on a colander?
Exactly.
Yeah, G20.
I want every court to have like a room just full of religious text and objects that you can swear in on.
G23 saying just a TV and movie with the Bible. And he's been to a few himself, so I'll
I could have sworn I saw it on.
trust his opinion.
We've seen so many televised trials recently in the last couple of years.
Maybe there are some districts that still do that.
Yeah, I doubt they do it in Washington. We're too, what's the word? Politically, I'll just leave that alone.
Yeah. What's it saying? He totally joined the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. There was a gal who got her driver's license with a colander on her head because she was a member of the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster.
What the fuck?
I think she had to go to court, and they ruled that since it is legally a church, that she could wear the colander in her.
Isn't Jedi from Star Wars a religion now, officially? Kind of like show up at the DMV with. You could show up at the DMV with your lightsaber and a robe.
So for the last part, to have assistance of a lawyer. And there's a link for the Annenberg .org for that also. But the court,
He got us.
case, I don't like Starbucks.
Me neither.
It's over roasted and bitter. That's why it's bitter, because it's over roasted. But Powell v. Alabama. Oh, I've got a couple of cases, but so Powell v. Alabama is, oh yeah, in Florida. This was in 1932. Oh, sorry, I'm getting the next case mixed up. But there were 9 black youths riding on a train, and they were accused of raping 2 white women. And the news got to the town they were going to, and they were pulled off the train. The 2, this one I'm trying to do this one from memory. The 2 women said it didn't happen, but they were still tried and convicted. But they didn't see any counsel until the day of the trial. And the state Supreme Court of Alabama said that was good enough. And the Supreme Court finds the teens were denied their Sixth Amendment right to effective assistance of counsel because they had not seen an attorney until the morning of the trial and had no chance to put on a meaningful defense. I think they're and that, yeah, again, I'm trying to remember. So I think they were tried, and then they were tried a second time and then convicted, ended up being paroled after however many years, which is kind of crappy because the Supreme Court would have thrown out the conviction. And then Gideon v. Wainwright. Huh. Oh, I missed one. We'll have to.
What'd you miss?
Well, on the nature of accusations, we skipped that part. So we'll loop back to that after we finish this one. So Gideon versus Wainwright. Gideon, I believe, was the one that he was accused of breaking into a bar or a pool hall, something like that, to steal money from the till. And he asked the court for a lawyer because he couldn't afford one.
Mm-hmm.
And this was Florida, and the Florida Supreme Court, well, the court denied it. He took it to the state Supreme Court, and they denied it because it only applied to federal and only applied to felonies. And so he while in jail, he read books at the prison library, and then hand wrote an appeal to the Supreme Court, and then they took it up. The one of the problems was there were two conflicting cases as precedents. Powell v. Alabama, where the court held that the indigent defendants had the constitutional right to counsel in capital cases. Betts versus Brady held that defendants in state courts did not have a constitutional right to counsel unless the case was especially complicated or there were special circumstances, such as illiteracy, which would prevent the defendant from making an effective defense. But the majority overruled Betts versus Brady, finding that the assistance of counsel was a fundamental right guaranteed by the Sixth Amendment. And thus a defendant who wished to have a lawyer but could not afford a lawyer should have an attorney appointed by the court. So this widens who can get court-appointed attorneys. I don't really have an issue with it personally.
Court appointed.
Yeah, they're not. From everything you hear, they tend to be. They have too many cases to concentrate.
Not enough time.
Yeah, so you don't get that good a legal defense from them.
Yeah, they're reading your case right before they go before the judge.
Basically, I've heard stories like that where, they say the first time they met their lawyer was at the trial or at the arraignment. So it's not a perfect system, but it's a system.
Better than nothing.
And so what I had missed was the nature, knowing the nature of the accusations. That way the state can't just grab you and say, we think you might have been involved with something, and then hold you. I've got the United States versus Cruikshank, which this is kind of a messed up case. There was a dispute over a gubernatorial election in Louisiana, and Cruikshank and a few other guys were accused of murdering 100 blacks.
Ew.
Yeah.
Is this the 1800s or the 1900s?
1876.
Yep. Sounds about right.
So, I wish I had better notes on this one. What? So the issue with this one was the charges that were brought against them were vague, and they weren't specific charges. So the Supreme Court threw out the conviction because of that, which it seems like, yes, they were probably guilty of a very bad thing, and this is one of the times where some very bad people may have been set free, but at issue is the knowing what you're being charged. And again, that's protects the innocent.
Yep, exactly. Sometimes the state tries to railroad people that are actually guilty, and kind of fucks up the case and you got to let him go.
Yeah, that's,
Case in point, O.J. Simpson.
Yeah. Yeah. There's, yeah. Starting down a road I don't want to go down right now. But yes. So, was there anything else for the 6th that you had?
Let me see. Yes, I will be opening up a machine gun rental in the Zone of Death in Idaho. Come join me.
So, can you read the 7th Amendment?
Yes, I can. In suits at common law, where the value and controversies shall exceed $20, the right of trial by jury shall be preserved, and no fact tried by a jury shall otherwise re-examined in any court of the United States than according to the rules of the common law. What the fuck did I just read?
Yeah, so the term common law often means law declared by judges as opposed to law enacted by legislature. In the 7th Amendment, the term common law means the law and procedure of the courts that use juries as opposed to equity and other courts that did not use juries. So the equity is cases heard by a judge and not a jury. And the common law refers to jury trials, not ones heard by a judge.
Gotcha.
And this is not a sexy one. So a lot of the cases that you see have to do with companies. So I grabbed a couple of them. Tull versus the U.S. In Tull versus the U.S., the Supreme Court ruled that even if a civil defendant is entitled to a jury at the liability phase of the trial, when it's decided whether the law has been broken, the right does not necessarily extend to the penalty phase when the amount is decided. So you still have the right to the jury trial for the liability, but if there's a law that was broken, then the amount of damages can be decided by a judge. Then Atlas Roofing versus OSHRC, the Occupational Safety Hazard something, which so there's two cases, the Atlas one and then the Grand Financiera versus Nordberg. And the Grand Financiera clarifies a ruling that was made in the Atlas Roofing case. So the U.S. Supreme Court clarifies the ruling in Atlas Roofing. In Atlas Roofing, the court found that Congress can, when it passes federal statute, give authority to an administrative agency to decide cases brought under their statute, as long as the statute involves certain public rights that Congress has seen fit to create. The court here rules that the right is public if the federal government itself is a party to the lawsuit, if Congress, acting for valid legislative purpose, pursuant to its constitutional powers, has a right that is so closely integrated into a public regulatory scheme as to be a matter of appropriate for an agency to resolve with limited involvement by federal courts. Otherwise, the claim is private and the party should be allowed to have a jury rule on it. Yeah, I'll get to that, the $20 here in a second. So there's a lot of kind of dry text in there, but this sounds similar to like with the EPA ruling with Chevron deference, and for the Second Amendment, the ATF. Congress can give an agency. This comes up in one of, I don't know if we covered it in a previous amendments or if it comes up in the later amendments, but it's somewhere in there, that the Congress can give a federal agency the power to enforce the law, but with the ATF, they change what that law is, which that's unconstitutional. So if Congress says this is what a receiver is, this is what a gun is.
This is what a machine gun is.
Yeah. And then tells the ATF, you have the ability to fine people who break this law. So anybody who breaks that law, according to what that law is, can get a fine from that agency. But when that agency says, well, this is what the law says, this thing kind of looks like this, so we're going to say it's close enough to that it's that thing, which is illegal. And that's what Chevron deference, where that comes in, where the courts take their expertise and say, well, they know what they're talking about, so this thing is like that other thing. We'll call them the same. But that's what the EPA ruling said. No, you cannot do that. Only Congress can say that thing is the same as this other thing, which I may have said that very confusingly, so I apologize. But that's what Chevron deference, the court's ruling against the EPA removes that Chevron deference. But they still have the right to regulate issue fines according to what the law passed by Congress is. They just cannot reinterpret what that law is, because that would be making a new law.
Yeah, that's legislation.
Yeah. What said he followed me so good? Because there was a lot of this and that. So with the $20 part, that has not changed. It is still, according to the Constitution, $20. But in practice, I think is it $500? Or I can't remember if it's $500 or $1,500, but would still seem kind of low to me. But there is kind of a general number that's used somewhere in there, $500 to $1,500. I don't know. Even though that it still says $20.
Yeah, I really hope they don't ever adjust for inflation. They're like, oh, your SBR tax you're going to pay us? Yeah, that's 1930s money. We're going to need more.
Yeah.
That'd be bad.
Yeah. So that's pretty much all I had for the 7th, because like I said, it was had to do with a lot of businesses, corporations, really boring stuff.
So if my math is correct, if $20 is $650 now, $200 would be $6,500 for the NFA tax. Yeah.
There was somebody, was it a congressperson who was talking about that? I think it might have been last year, about adjusting for inflation.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, and it's
Not good.
the well, yeah. Well, that's Second Amendment stuff we're talking. Sixth Amendment stuff now. Woods is saying, yeah, 10 times more. And one of the things when people adjust for inflation, I've heard gold used, which to me, that's not using gold as the measure. Gold um, prices fluctuate, and it doesn't follow inflation.
Yeah, that would have worked up till Nixon when we were off the gold standard. Not sure what you should use now though.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Maybe gas. Price of gas. I don't know.
Well, that again, that's like gold, where can the prices are manipulated. Because silver prices get manipulated. You know, if um, somebody wants to change silver, it kind of you see the same thing happen with Bitcoin. Somebody dumps a lot into the market and it drives the prices down. Well, somebody who just sold off their stuff and dropped the prices can rebuy it at a lower price, and they're making money off it. So we had X Adam 1 and the goddamn bacon out there.
Moo apparently likes your hat.
Does he? Oh, I had somebody when I stopped at Papa Murphy's. It's the where they make it and then you take it home and you bake it. And the girl at the counter goes, "Oh, I like your pen. I like your Mighty Mouse pen."
Oh no.
So I politely said, "Oh, thank you." And and I sit down and I'm thinking, "What the
Mighty
Mighty Mouse?"
Mouse.
But she was being nice, so I can't really blame her for not knowing. She's just giving me a compliment. So
You ever been in there when somebody comes in and they're like, "Why is this not cooked? I ordered a pizza."
no, I haven't.
I've seen that once. It's pretty funny. She's like, "Can I pay you extra and you can cook it for me?" They're like, "No, sorry, we can't." It's like, "God damn it!"
Good pizzas though. We got a gourmet vegetarian with ham on it. It's it's really good. They use a white sauce instead of a tomato sauce. It's on the rich side, um, but I like that, and I really like their cowboy pizza.
That's pork, pepperoni, black olive, mushroom.
Something like that, and then there's like a 5 cheese blend mix
Hmm.
of cheeses.
You ever tried their Chicago?
Yeah,
I have the hardest time getting that thing to cook right. Their directions do not work on that.
well, every oven is different.
I have to turn the temp down and cook it like twice as long. I do it to like 300 for like 40 minutes.
Yeah, that's the one thing with their pizzas. If you cook it by their instructions, it'll be soggy on the bottom.
Yep.
And then if you cook it to where the bottom is crispy, you overcook the top. But I don't mind, like on the gourmet vegetarian, there's a lot of vegetables on it, so it's going to be a little soggy anyways. So there's like spinach and artichoke and tomatoes. Yeah, Moo was just saying he's just giving me crap because it's my favorite hat.
They'd give me crap if they found out what university I went to.
Yeah, what's it saying? It's it's the Cougars. Foss made poor choices in his youth. And what I usually tell people, I told a guy at Cabela's yesterday. Was it yesterday or earlier in the morning? I don't remember. All the days kind of blend together now. I was coming down the escalator, and the guy says something to me, and I couldn't hear what he said. And I had my hat on, and then I had my Cougar jacket because it's a warm jacket.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy goes, "Oh, you must be a Cougar fan." So I said, "Yeah." They didn't give me an education, but they gave me a wife. That's where I met my wife. That, or I'll say, if somebody gives me crap about the Cougars, I'd say, what do you expect? I went to WSU. And there's an old joke that they used to give prisoners when they got out, they'd give them $20 in a new suit. Now they just give them tuition for WSU. So Woods went to the World Wrestling Entertainment and the Eastern Wrestling University.
What is Western Washington something? I'm terrible with all these names. I will give people a hint. My school mascot is also a feline. So, see if they can figure that
out. Woods was saying he went both to Western and Eastern. Oh. Yeah, that's all I got. Do we call people in or just shut it down?
Sure. They can roast you on that veggie salad with ham. Or the veggie pizza. Salad on dough.
I don't have a problem with it. It's good. I like it. So I don't care what other people think. I eat what I want. I'm an adult. I pay my own bills.
I've tried it. My taste buds are the same, though. They don't like it. Every time I try it, it's the same.
What don't you like about it?
It's soggy, and it tastes like a cooked salad. That's my two biggest problems with it. Like, if I'm going to have veggies, I'd rather have them raw. I hate cooked veggies usually. Like, give me a raw carrot. You cook the carrot, it tastes like crap. I'm not eating it.
Yeah, I would lean more towards, I like carrots. And I don't like really soft cooked carrots.
Yeah, they're all slimy. No thanks.
Yeah, real mushy.
Fuck that. They should put that on pizza. Somebody will like it. Where's G23? Have you seen the list of what he got on that pizza?
Yeah.
That was crazy, wasn't it? It was like 20 toppings for $10. He's going to put that place out of business.
It's just like, what toppings you got? I'll take them. X Adam 1 saying, you know, if you're an adult in charge of your home by looking at how many different cereal boxes you have. If you have one or two, then your wife runs the show. If you have more, you make the decisions.
I don't have cereal in my house.
Oh.
What does that tell you?
Oh, what do you
I'm poor as fuck, and I spend all my money on guns.
Oh, I do. I'll usually have 2 cereals for myself. Right now, I have Rice Chex and
Yum.
Frosted Mini Wheats. I think Rice Chex is probably my favorite cereal.
You're gonna laugh. Mine is Raisin Bran
I
with
won't
extra
laugh.
raisins.
I don't like it. I don't like Raisin Bran, but you know, I don't have an issue with it existing.
Weren't we talking about like the amount of rat feces you can have in a product and still be legal? Like, am I even going
Yeah.
to notice in Raisin Bran?
Probably not.
Probably not. King
Oh,
Vitamin. I've heard that before. I think Adam brought it up. I've
Yeah.
never seen it.
yeah. Last time we talked about cereals.
Do we have that on the West Coast?
I've never seen it.
So it might be a Central and East Coast thing. Is Texas considered Central? I mean, it's technically on the coast, and it is East. How about we just
Well,
start calling everyone east of Washington East Coasters? I'm cool with that.
Look at what was considered the West. Is, you know, you're looking at
Ohio was the West. Go out to the territories, build a cabin. Start the French Indian War. Oh, I totally agree with Adam. If you're a true poor, you got cereal in the bag, not the box. I loved getting a big old bag of like you know the Captain Crunch that was all berries, the
Yeah.
knockoff version of that. Huge bag. It's almost indistinguishable from like dog food. You can't tell the difference.
Well, I'll tell you, dog food tastes like cardboard. I've eaten my share of dog food. Well, the dry, not the wet. I've never had wet dog food. Yeah, that was mostly just to gross my wife out every time I do it.
Yes, that makes you an East Coaster. If you're not touching the Pacific, you're East Coast.
Yeah, when I would talk to the Samoan kids when I was in Pullman, the Samoan kids that would come to WSU from Hawaii and ask them, they'd all give me the same answer. When I'd ask them, why did you come to WSU? And they would say, because it's by the ocean. I looked on a map and it was by the ocean.
What is it, like 5 hours from the ocean?
6 hours.
Yeah.
It's 300 and some miles from the Pacific Ocean.
Fuck.
But when you look on a map, if you're from Hawaii, Everything's near the ocean. So, you know, in those terms, looking at a map of Washington, it's near the ocean.
So yeah, how big could it be? That's funny. They end up in the fucking desert. It's got to be quite the change.
X Adam One saying almost applied for a job in Nebraska as a product taster, found out it was for dog and cat food.
Ooh, how much do they pay? I'll take that gig.
Roy Munson's out there. He's saying he's heard of, what was it, King cereal? King Vitamin. Vitamin King.
King Vitamin.
King Vitamin. X Adams asking, has anyone heard of Kiger 9C? Or am I the only one who doesn't know?
I have no idea.
I don't know what that is.
Is this a prank? Am I going to Google this and have something terrible pop up? Haven't had anyone prank us yet that I can remember, have we?
No. Oh, it's the Anderson pistol.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard of. I knew about it. I didn't know the name of it.
So this is a Glock Gen 3 clone.
Yeah, it's another not a Glock. Here, I'll share it. Let's see what we're talking about. There it is. So the MSRP is $429. So it's a cheap Glock knockoff.
It probably cost them $150 to make.
Yeah, Roy Munson's saying it's an awful name.
Kiger, yeah.
How do you? I wonder. How do you? Why would you name your pistol Kiger?
Kite. I don't know. They lost a bet with someone. It's bad.
It's supposed to be Tiger, but he's got a lisp. It's a Kiger. Kiger.
Mike Tyson's in charge of the marketing team. The long-awaited Kiger. It's like, who the fuck's been waiting?
I will never own one.
I would have expected it to be cheaper.
Yeah.
That is a high MSRP for a Anderson.
Kind of fat in the back.
Yeah, was that the grip? Yeah, it's the grip.
Yeah, no, doesn't do anything for me.
Nope.
So, Roy Munson's asking, how much is the PSA dagger?
It's like 300. And they give you like 10 mags.
So yeah, the one with all the mags is $399. And there's
Too bad we live in Washington.
6, 7,
You
8,
buy
9.
that, and they take every damn mag out of your shipment, and you'd still pay $399.
Without all the mags, there's a full size with threaded barrel for $369.
So the frame alone is $100. That's not bad. And the slide is $200. So you could buy both of them separately. You'd transfer it as a receiver, not a handgun, so it'd be same day instant. And you just put the slide on and rack it, and you're good to go. That's pretty sweet. Yes, I have gamed Washington state laws, so I don't have to wait 10 fucking days for a handgun. Just buy the receiver.
Woods, I think he's saying I'm guessing he's saying he has 2 daggers and not 2 Kigers. Oh, the dagger didn't really interest me either.
If he didn't have a Glock already, would it?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
No.
No?
The
So it
one
really
of
has
the
a good point. It's got a threaded barrel and suppressor height sights and RMR cut. And it's under $400 with 10 mags. I don't know how you beat that. Like, that might be the best deal in handguns right now.
let me see if I can
the
see
PSA dagger.
what the Kiger. So Sportsman Outdoor Superstore has it for $409. Yeah, it just I haven't seen one in person, but if I was to buy a striker fired gun, I would either get no, I'm not comparing sizes because I don't know the sizes differences, but I would get a Glock 48 or P365 XL. But
I'm tempted to get this new Smith & Wesson, what's it called? The Enforcer? Equalizer? What the hell is that thing called?
Equalizer.
Yeah. The only problem is I'd have to have 10-round mags. God damn it.
X Adam 1 saying Battlehawk Armory has them for $379.
The Kiger?
Yeah. I'm guessing that's what he means.
Does it come with 10 mags? An RMR cut and a threaded barrel and suppressor height sights?
Probably
it's hard
not.
to beat that.
I know the Equalizer, I will say, just because of the name, piqued my interest, but I still wouldn't get one. The slide to me looks like, what is the Walther that's got the goofy serrations on the slide?
Let me check it out. Oh, nice. I'm banned from SmithandWesson.com.
What'd you do?
I don't know. Have I badmouthed Smith & Wesson on our podcast before?
Not that I recall.
Well, I'm fucking banned.
Huh. I'm looking at the Walther website, and for the PDP, they've got pictures of people holding them, and
Smith.Wesson.com is getting attacked right now.
Oh, it is?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. So I'm not
Which-
banned. They're down.
Well, I'm getting basically too many connection error. So yeah, I'm assuming either they're working on something in the middle of the night, which they could be, or somebody's wailing on them right now.
Or they got you because you're associated with me.
No,
I think that's exactly what happened.
it's the message from the software that they're using from their database.
But for the Walther, they've got the tactical guys here on the right, and then a guy in a grocery store on the left there. I'm guessing he's not robbing the grocery store.
Is that the candy aisle?
Kind of looks like it.
Mm-hmm. It does.
Well, it's probably a convenience store, like a gas station.
As a person that's worked in the grocery industry, what is the candy that gets thrown out the most because it expires and no one buys it? Like, is there a type?
That's not really a thing that happens. The only time that would happen would be like specialty high-end chocolate bars. They're
I
really
mean, and the
expensive.
expiration date is so far off that you never have to worry about candy going bad on the shelf.
Well, it's just there's enough. Well, now, especially now, there's enough tweakers out there that they buy all the candy. Tweakers will buy the same thing. They'll buy candy, bag cereal, chocolate milk.
Oh,
Are they making cereal in the bag? I never thought about that. You could use chocolate milk in your cereal. Who needs teeth anyway, right?
no, that's gross. You've never done that? It's
No,
gross.
I've never done
It
that.
works on like Cocoa Pebbles or something, but everything else would be gross. Like I've tried it with Cheerios before, thinking what could go wrong, and it's really bad.
Did it taste like somebody peed in your chocolate milk?
It really alters the thing. Like it's wrong. I don't know. It'd be like putting ketchup on something that you don't put ketchup on normally. It was just it didn't belong there, so it didn't make it any better. To me, at least. I mean, I tried it on a couple of different cereals. I didn't like it.
There was a TV show where somebody put, or was it a movie? They put beer on their cereal.
I've done that too on cornflakes one time. Didn't work. It's not good.
What about strawberry milk?
That I've never tried because I don't like strawberry milk. I mean, whatever's a strawberry cereal, it probably tastes good.
I don't remember what it was.
There's powders that you can add to milks to make them all different kind of flavors.
No kidding.
Nestle Quick. Ting Ting's out there.
What is the next of the amendments? 8? What is
Yeah,
it?
we're gonna do the last 8, 9, and 10 because there's not a lot to those ones. So we'll do 8, 9, and 10, and then probably do more with a round table. I was thinking discussing states' rights versus federal. Where do you draw the line, and what should have more weight?
I intend to bring up death penalty during that chat, just so you know.
That's fine. It's a issue worth discussing. How's it going, DJ?
Tardy to the party. Or wait, this is the overnight, not the party. Tardy anyway.
That's all right. Glad to have you. Better late than never. Which my junior high band instructor disagreed with that. I told him that once because I came in late on my trumpet part. I told him, well, better late than never. And he goes, not in music.
Yeah, he's got a point. My music instructor was a raging alcoholic, and during one of the concerts, he passed out and face planted, broke his nose. It was pretty funny.
Look at all those yellows in Massachusetts. It looks like somebody in Oklahoma, in Tulsa perhaps, is wailing on Massachusetts.
So what exactly is this site that we're looking at?
I think these are threats or, cyber attacks that are happening in real time
Really?
based off of this company. There's different companies that'll have different ones, but this is to give you an idea of what's happening out there. It's sort of like if the internet is a bunch of doors in a street, and at night people run around yanking on the doors to see if they're open or not, and that's what's happening. Everybody's running around. Well, I mean, it's not the middle of the night, but people are constantly running around, poking holes in ports and seeing what works. These colors probably mean something. This isn't one I use all the time. It's just the first one I found today. But I was curious if there would be some kind of thing going on in the U.S. or special or like more. I've seen it way more than this. I don't know what this report is getting, but it was whenever I first turned it on. See how you, just as long as we've been watching, there's been a whole bunch of continual ones from like Oklahoma into Massachusetts. So maybe somebody's screwing with. Smith & Wesson is still down. Everybody can try to go there if they want themselves, but they're probably going to get this same thing. And this is coming from the software that they're running their site on, which is interesting. Now we know how they run their site. But that database that controls their site it's like if everybody in the world tried to go into one doorway, it just gets clogged.
Woods was saying the Great White North, the Bob and Doug McKenzie movie. I'm pretty sure that's not the one I'm thinking of.
Well, that movie is called Strange Brew.
Yeah.
What movie are you thinking of?
I cannot remember. I get just this little picture of a scene, but I can't see the guy's face.
Oh, I guess I missed that. What was the scene?
Somebody using beer on their
Beer and Cheerios, yeah.
Oh, on Cheerios? Is it? That sounds like something like.
Well,
Animal-
I don't know
Animal
what
House?
the cereal was.
But that kind of thing is like Animal House, like back in the 70s, making fun of not dorm. All right, what do they call them in college?
Dorm.
Fraternities.
Oh yeah. Ting Ting
But
was
then-
saying that she used to do that.
Oh, maybe. What was that golf movie with Bill Murray? It sounds like something Bill Murray would do.
What about Revenge of the Nerds?
Maybe
Is that something
That
Booger
might be a
did?
booger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that kind of
It might have been
character
Booger.
would do. Yeah. Man, I remember that movie, but I don't think I've seen it since. Maybe I watched it on cable 20 years ago or something. And I was like, well, and I left it on back in the days when I didn't have remote control or something. But I can't remember the last time I watched that movie.
I'm not finding it. There's a lot of YouTubers, though, that are eating cereal and beer.
If you're gonna put beer on cereal, I'd want it to be like popcorn or something salty, like corn chips or something. Maybe Fritos.
Maybe you just didn't use like some weak ass Pilsner and you went after some like really just bloody chocolatey dark beer. Maybe that'd do something for it.
Ugh.
No? Well, you said somebody said Cheerios earlier, so just thinking
I mean,
about
that's
putting
basically
two
the
grains
same thing as
together.
popping up Cheerios.
Wesley Foster's asking any videos from Wanamaker.
It's
I've seen a
frustrating.
short.
Everybody goes to Wanamaker, and then maybe they'll take video, but they pretty much just all run around chatting with each other. Nobody ever does any like
Yeah,
effort at like making video or anything.
so I think it's not Seven Wonders.
Chris from the 740 put out a short.
Well, there's somebody else. I can't think of who it was. There's a bunch of pictures on Instagram.
Oh, I didn't go to Instagram at all. I've been playing with this puppy, but I've seen a couple of the shorts, I guess. Jenny.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Chris.
You found a lost puppy, right?
Sitting right here. Getting baby.
Jason Stewart, that's who I was thinking of. He put out a short, I believe.
I think he went with Chris, didn't he?
Yeah. I think Chris picked him up.
Well, perhaps less than some other gatherings or events. I mean, you're doing shopping there. Who wants to do content? Like rolling all those aisles and stuff. I mean, it's legendary. So maybe it's just the distraction of not just hanging out with friends that you get to meet, but also because your eyes are roving and your wallet's ready. I wouldn't be thinking about it.
Well, one thing you can do both, and the other thing is, are you a content creator or are you just fucking off? So if everybody fucks off, then yeah, fuck off. But if you're going there as media and you're going there with press credentials, then earn your keep, earn the credential, do something for the show. You know, like going up and saying, "Hey, nice booth. Can I take a photo?" Versus like, you know, interview and promote their stuff and get their word out there. That's all I'm saying. You don't have to do one or the other, but don't act like you're doing one when you're doing the other. There's that puppy
Little
That's a
pug.
cute puppy.
sleeping right now.
Yeah, one of our Gilded members went to Wanamaker. Got some pretty good deals. I am jealous.
Are they attending as a member of Team Fucking Off?
They are not a YouTuber.
All right, then. That'd be my team, especially for my first Wanamaker. Never been close enough that I should have been by now. Seems like every time that I've planned to go, where it wasn't like Coco'd, there's been something that's popped up.
Yeah, I don't even. Foss, do you even know how that works?
Oh,
Us living in Washington. Are we
to
limited
what,
on what
buying
we
a
can
gun at
purchase?
Wanamaker?
Yeah. Like, would we have to have it shipped back?
Yeah, it would have to go from FFL to FFL.
Fuck.
So it is for everybody. You can buy shotguns probably.
Yeah, I think long guns you're okay, but handguns.
I didn't know about private sales.
No, private sales, you'd have to walk over to an FFL. The easiest thing, and then they ship it to another shop in your area. So if you're coming from out of state to a gun show, any gun show, just have an FFL you're going to work with and bring their, or their a copy of their FFL. Well, I just found this puppy this morning. I was driving home from the store, and that puppy was on the road. So I took a bunch of pictures and put them on the different places to alert people. And now I'm waiting to see. Took him to the vet.
If you don't hear from anybody, are you going to keep him?
No, he's too little. But if I don't hear from anybody, I'm definitely gonna let my friends who have little girls know. Or I don't know any old ladies. I'll ask some old ladies, I guess, or ask old people I know if there's somebody that I think he's a good dog for a little person or an old lady. I think I would step on. He's the kind of dog that's right next to you all the time. He's right next to me right now, and I'm not used to that, so I think I'd probably end up stepping on.
So does he have a temporary name yet?
Puppy.
My dog was like that, or Jack Russell, where he'd always be next to me. Except he had a bad habit of, if I was sleeping, he'd jump up to be next to me, but he would jump on me, and it would wake me up, and I would have my reaction is to just start swearing and shoving things off me. Jesus fucking Christ! What? So he's a little gun shy about that now.
Oh, why don't I pop a picture of that upper?
Yeah.
Be right back.
Yeah, I would like to go to Wanamaker at least once just to experience it, see it, look around at stuff, see what kind of cool stuff you find.
So what's an example of something that you've looked for in the past at gun shows or shops or whatever, never found, but always have an eye open for that Wanamaker might bring home for you?
For me, there's nothing really I've looked for. I just like seeing what you find. I like having a route around looking for old stuff, in attics and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Wanamaker isn't a regular gun show. It's a collector show, and it's been going on for a long, long time, and it's huge, right? So it's not like, and think about it, there's like however many attendees, and it's 11 acres, and it's an effort to get set up and everything. Nobody's dragging in to Wanamaker like their garage full of weird stuff or like boxes and boxes. It's not super expensive. It's just so, like so much effort to be there that the only people that are showing up are people that are there to do business. So not a lot of like, hey, let's hang out. Like some gun shows you go to, it's like a whole bunch of people that are just bringing their stuff from their garage or from their gun room or whatever. And if they sell something, great. If they don't, who cares? Because they paid $50 for the table and they're just there to hang out with their friends. 60% of the reason to be there is to hang out with their friends and to talk to people. Wanamaker, it's collectors, and people get the impression it's like a gun show because it's so big or whatever, and we call it a gun show. But it's pretty much anything from like World War II and back. Nothing really newer than World War II there. And definitely not a lot of AR-15s. I mean, people barely talk about it, but if it's a good year for AR-15s, there's 5 tables of AR-15s in that whole show. It's mostly old stuff, and it's collector stuff. Like Clover kind of showed some of the people that are showing off the collections of Ruger guns. So there'll be tables of people who collect those Ruger guns. So there'll be interesting stuff, but it'll be like, oh, this is interesting. Yeah, that's the rare one-off handle off of the one grip from the misprint one. So it's $1,000. It's like, you're not going to go there and find a lot of, I brought $20 and look all I got from Wanamaker. In fact, that's what I try to do, and it's a massive challenge. And I almost always come back empty-handed because there's almost never anything like a dollar box or like just rummage through here because people don't want to take the effort to bring all that stuff in. They might have that stuff and they'll take it to smaller shows. There's that one guy in the corner who brings in some like surplus that's kind of like that, but pretty much everything else is like they deliberately bring it, and it's like walking through a museum more than a gun show, if that makes sense. Like you see a lot of stuff, but most of it is super rare, super specific to a collector, and not always super expensive, but often just beyond expensive. The whole downstairs is a lot of collectible stuff. It's a lot of collectible. The whole upstairs is the stuff that is the parts and pieces and the stuff you can buy. But I don't know, you can go there to buy like a Mosin, but you're not going to find a ton of them. If you went there to buy like a lever action, you'll go nuts trying to find them because there's a zillion of them. Reloading stuff, I don't think there's even reloading stuff in that show. There might be, again, like 5 tables of somebody who tried to experiment bringing some stuff. I brought the AK bayonets there one time, and there might have been like 5 people who even looked at the table. It's just the wrong stuff for that show.
It's kind of interesting that.
A lot of books.
So it's so fine. It's huge, but it's still fine tuned into what's actually there.
Yeah, and then the other dynamic that I know from setting up is that this is the one show, twice a year. So it's the one show that everybody can get to from the whole country. So I knew guys that collected Old West guns because my gun shop that I went with is Old West Guns. So Bob would bring a bunch of stuff, and all year long he'd be like, "Oh, I'm buying this off of somebody," and we'd go, "Why'd you buy that gun? It's too expensive." And he'd go, "Don't worry about it," and he'd put it in the back. And then when we go to Tulsa, he brought all the stuff out of the back, and we go to Tulsa. And then you, as a vendor, you get there on Thursday, and I don't know if I want to talk about it. You can join the club and set up tables, and it's kind of freer. So I would do that to help Bob get in there for free, and then pay my way to be there, right? So work it off kind of thing. You set up tables for that elaborate show, right? However many tables it is, 4,000 tables on Thursday, and then on Friday, vendors set up, right? Well, some of us had already set up on Thursday because we set up tables, right? The people who know what's going on and who do the deal. And those people on Friday are doing their entire thing. So Friday is amazing. Like Friday, the people who are there to do business are doing all their business. And then whatever they have left over is what's there for the show. So there's just crazy business being done. So I've been there a couple of times now for the Friday. You know, we're all set up and I'm just watching people, and it's like I was saying, like Bob would collect stuff all over for 6 months or a year, bring it to the show, and then it was like so-and-so would walk up and be like, "Hey, you got that such and such? Yep, let me look at it." "Okay, yep, okay." And they trade, or most of the time it was a trade, or else it'd be like, "Okay, here's $10,000. Or like, here's $3,000 for that one." And then like I got lead on the next one. I'll see you in November. So it was like the collectors, or whatever you want to call the people who supply collectors, the brokers, right? That's when all the business got done. And that's the real business, at least from my perspective. So I'm guessing that happened with uniforms, and that happened with, you know, every facet of the stuff that was there, books and everything else. And then the people who are like selling cleaning stuff, they would show up on Friday and set up. And then the people who are like, a couple of times there'd be, actually I know a couple of people now who, like, maybe 5 guys get together and they buy a table and then put all their stuff on the table, and then 1 or 2 of them stay at the table and the other ones look around, do stuff, and they know what their friends want, or else they tell people, "Nah, it's my friend's gun, come back when he's here and he'll tell you how much he wants for it." You know, so sometimes there's those kind of people, and they're not as together, like, you know, they're not doing business, so they just kind of show up and they'll end up leaving halfway through, and then somebody who is there with their shop or something will spread over to their tables. So most of the business gets done on Friday before the show even starts, and then Saturday and Sunday. It's such a crazy show. Everything happens Saturday. Ask the guys who are going to be there tomorrow. Nobody even shows up on Sunday. Hardly any, compared to Saturday, hardly any, what do you call them, attendees show up. And then everybody starts to leave by noon, and it only opens at 9 or something. It's crazy how all of that, and that's because everything happens on Friday before it even opens. But it's crazy how, I don't know if it's church or if it's just so much effort to get in there that people figure it's all gone. But something like this, you'd probably only find 2 examples of that. If you'd even find an example, you'd probably only find 2 examples of this at all of Wanamaker.
So this is the upright I just finished building tonight. It's a 9mm. Just need to do the lower.
Beauty, Baron.
She's done at 45.
What would that take? Would that take grease gun mags?
Or the Uzi mags, or Sten mags. I guess Sten mags are 9. Thompson mags. Thompson mags are cheap. Thompson
That
drums,
would
if
be
you're smart.
cool, but I don't have any, and I live in Washington. So my
Thompson
options
made-
are limited.
I think Thompson made a 9-round mag. Oh, wait, no, he didn't.
Fuck.
You just gotta. Well, yeah. No, it doesn't work.
Yeah, go to
Gonna say
Oregon. Yeah,
you gotta
LED
that
them.
shit don't work no more.
Wire an LED light into the barrel, and then you can use it as a flashlight.
There you go.
I was gonna say just pin the mags, but you can't even get the mags to pin them.
Yep.
Well, you can have somebody pin them and send them to you, right? So somebody's going to go into business of making Washington compliant magazines.
Or I could
Can
just
you
use
buy
the.
a kit? Can you buy a disassembled kit and put it together as a 20-round block? You know, with a 20-round or
No.
whatever it is, a 9-round block.
Nope.
I wouldn't trust you people with a kit either. I was just wondering.
So what do you think? Brace? Just buffer tube? What should I do for this thing? It's a shame. I mean, it's a retro build. I don't want to put a ugly ass brace on it.
Retro to what?
Retro to what?
Yeah,
Retro styling.
yeah, style maybe. I would say just a pistol receiver extension.
I would say if when it's done, it's not shown, do what you want.
But in for advice, that's your advice. Okay.
It's hard to imagine it without the stock furniture on the lower, just seeing the upper. That's what happens with my head. The only thing that would alter that image is the muzzle device. So far, at least in my eye.
I wouldn't have that thing as a pistol with a regular receiver extension, so I'd put a pistol receiver extension on it, and it would look just like an old gun with its stock taken over. Which
Yeah,
people
I do
put
have
on back in the day.
I do have a pistol tube. But we'll see. See what I come up with. But that's what I was up to tonight.
Yeah, Wesley's saying the old Colt ones were modified Uzis. That's what I think I remember hearing too, because they were cheap or available.
Hmm. That's what I have.
Yeah, he was talking about the Colt SMG.
But they made Colt in 41 and 9 and 45, right?
I don't know. It's possible. I only know about the 9.
Oh, there's definitely a 45 and a 41. I'm trying to remember if there was a 10 ever.
Oh, it's got the clamp on. Carry handle. For shame. I was reading a forum post. A guy was going to try to weld the detachable carry handle upper onto his upper. I said that wrong, but you get the gist. There's a real hurting for A2 uppers right now.
A2 uppers?
Mm-hmm.
Yuck.
X1 was asking, did you ever answer his question on the AR build? I'm not sure what if it
Did
was.
he ever answer my question on his AR?
He may have. I don't know if this was the question that he put more as a statement.
No, just an update on your build. Like your build that you've been doing with everybody's input. You've been taking polls and stuff. That one.
Oh, the 458 SOCOM. build.
Oh,
Foss's build. Yeah.
Arrow.
yeah, that's done. That was all done.
Oh, you are done? I thought it was still a bunch of parts or whatever.
Yeah,
He's
He's
even-
sliding around stuff again.
He's done a video of him shooting it too.
yeah.
I don't watch people's videos.
Holy shit.
That's
I don't want to wake anybody up.
that's this one. Which it is. It's not bad. I really like it. I'm not so sure about the fat grip here, but it's fun. It's got enough kick where you feel it.
Just run it over with your truck or something. It'll make it slim.
If you duct tape a couple of bricks to it, then it won't have so much recoil.
Can you solo screen him, Barry?
Yep.
Back up there. Frame.
The stream gets killed.
Do I report it now, or do I wait and report it after so that there's more evidence?
I couldn't do it. The recoil is enough where when you put a shot down range, you can't watch the shot. But I let one of the old guys at the range that I met shoot it, and he hit 8-inch by 8-inch gong at 200 yards with it. So
How many
And it
of the
were-
parts on there would you have picked if you were picking them?
the upper and the lower, and I wouldn't have gone with this stock because they're ugly, but it's really comfortable. I mean,
Yeah, that curved bottom is one of the better ones, and there's nothing.
functionally,
that gets
I
snagged on
really
it.
like it. It's just ugly. The LPVO, I probably will never get another one. It works, but I'll either have a red dot or a scope, but not the in between.
Well, did you flip it in and out? That's the whole point of that.
Yeah.
Just knobbing it back and forth all the time.
Yeah, it's just I'm not doing quick transitions, but on the whole, it ran perfect. It threw the brass out. Can't remember if it was somewhere around 3 o'clock, so it's gassed just right. Altogether, it came together, no problems. And then I did change the charging handle to an ambi charging handle just to make it easier to grip over the stock one, which it's gets a little tight when you get under the scope.
Mhm.
So the ambi gives you just a little more leverage there, a little more to grip. When I was firing it, basically everybody at the range at one point would come over and ask me, what are you shooting? And when I tell them, oh, it's a 450 Bushmaster, they'd go, oh, that's why it's so loud. X Adams asking, when is the giveaway then? Never. We will be doing a giveaway end of the year when we do our end of the year chat. We'll be giving some stuff away. We'll give away one of the card sets and some other stuff.
Secret stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know when. So, well, the 31st is on a Saturday. So, do we want to do that the Wednesday, the 28th, or do it on for the overnight?
Do it on the overnight, the original show.
Yeah. Yeah, and this was show number 50. So we've done 50 of these.
Congrats on the half century.
Are we counting pizza chats also?
Well, anything that was done
And
on
overnight.
yeah.
What's the bracket tonight?
Well, the bracket broke, so it needs to be welded. So we can't use the bracket tonight.
If I do more brackets, I get locked in the closet again.
Yeah. I brackets are fun. Just not all the time.
Ooh, I got a good one. Best Godzilla villain.
I would love to do a kaiju, but I don't know if there's enough people into it. Anytime I start talking about it, everybody tunes out.
Oh, giant lizards and giant robots that fight giant lizards. Boring. I don't know what people think. They're crazy.
I don't know.
That's what too much 9mm. It dulls your senses and it makes you not be interested in giant lizards and things.
Maybe if the brackets just had like 8 entries instead of 24 or whatever it is.
50.
Yeah.
Double elimination.
So it's like Mothra, Rodan, Mechagodzilla, 5 more, in and out, 5 minutes.
There's only one, Mechagodzilla.
I'm with you, Night Strike. Mechagodzilla would be right at the top for me.
Mechagodzilla.
Yeah.
What if we had each panelist submit 3 options for the bracket, and then we
Are there-
battle it out?
Are there 2 panelists?
Mechagodzilla, Mothra, and Ghidorah.
Well, right now there's
Well,
5, so it'd be
Rodan.
15.
I mean, I don't know. I
Orga.
don't know many people that could name 3 villains than one.
Well, we got like 5, 6 right there.
Yeah.
I don't know any, honestly.
What if Nancy Pelosi slipped on some radioactive slime and got it all over her, and then she grew to the size of Godzilla, and she was fighting Godzilla out in the water? Who would win?
Godzilla.
That'd be a pretty good movie.
It'd make a good movie, but it would be still Godzilla. He'd still win.
That sounds more like turtle power.
King Ghidorah, Rodan.
Kaiju battle.
My favorite, probably my favorite, other than Mechagodzilla, is Gigan. It's probably my favorite Godzilla movie.
Is there
Did
a
anyone say
poster
King
of all
Kong?
of them?
No.
What are they called?
What's
Kaiju.
it? Yeah,
Kaiju.
Kaiju. There, I-
Kaiju. Kaiju.
Came across the channel that was streaming Godzilla movies
Ooh, nice.
back to back. So I watched a bunch of them the other day, newer ones.
So I just found a site that says the 10 strongest Godzilla adversaries or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got this turtle-looking dude with teeth, Angrius. You've got a Gigan, I guess, the one you're saying with like some kind of turtle with claw feet and sunglasses.
Yeah, he's from outer space.
Megalon, some kind of goofy snail with a star on its face. You got Billante, giant crocodile looking thing. Space Godzilla, nice. It's Godzilla with a big thing on his head. You got Mech King Gorora, which is a mecha version of that three-headed Gahora or whatever. And then you got Destroya, which is crazy looking. Dragon with a spike coming out of its head and extra spikes by its mouth. Mecha Godzilla, of course. King Garaya, is that the one you said? With 3 heads. Dragon with 3 heads and wings. And then they got Mothra as number 1. It says
Mothra's
it's
not that
easily-
thrilling, but Ghidorah's sure damn cool.
It says that Mothra is easily the smartest and most cunning creature in the Godzilla universe. She's able to easily outsmart her attackers, exploiting gaps in their judgment to bring down even her toughest adversary.
Well, okay. It's more, it depends on what form, because there's Mothra the caterpillar, and then Mothra the moth.
Mm-hmm.
As the caterpillar, it just shoots silk webs to encase the enemy, and then Mothra flies around and flaps at him. And then there's different eras, so the monsters are different. That's when you get like Space Godzilla. It's a different era than the original.
And Destroyer, yeah. Heard of that one, right?
Yeah. And then when you get the people that are really, really into this, they'll reference movies and monsters by the era. So Showa era, Heisei era.
Mm-hmm.
Can you give us a quick rundown on those eras? Like which one's the early, mid, late kind of deal?
Well, the Showa era, that's the originals, 54 to 84. Heisei is 84 to 95. Millennium, 99 on. TriStar series looks like 1 year, 98. Monsterverse is 2014. Reiwa area is 2016.
What about Godzilla? What was that, 1999? What's
Ooh,
that?
We don't talk about that one.
Ugly.
Yeah. I had a friend
The enemy
that
is man.
We don't talk about that one, especially because of the French Secret Service in that one.
I had a friend that he worked for an animation company, and they were brought in at the end because the production was so far behind. And he told me the reason it's raining all the time is to cover up all the flaws that they didn't have time to fix
Oh, that's smart.
in the CGI.
That's pretty cool.
Figures.
If they only used that ingenuity to make a good movie, imagine it.
But his name is in the credit when they the credit sequence when they reference his company. His name is on the list.
Wonder if I still have that on VHS.
I like that movie.
Me too.
You
It's
dog
fun.
sitting?
No, I found this dog walking down the street this morning.
You found a pug?
Doesn't have a chip in him. I'm waiting to see if somebody finds, is looking for him.
Poor guy.
Yeah, that says he's over 6 months, but he's not much older than that.
He seems comfortable with you.
Oh yeah, he's digging it. He's sleeping now. I thought he was gonna do something good.
Yeah, you always get the lazy ones.
So Night
So what do
Strike, you ever been to Wanamaker?
Yes. Yeah, I was there 2018 where G Webs and Never Enough Ammo went.
That's the infamous
Infamous.
pizza.
Incident, yes.
Yeah.
I don't know this story.
We're not talking about it right now. Please.
That's why it's infamous.
So it was gun channels, and we were all doing stuff, doing live conversations. The way that YouTube used to work is there was Hangouts. Do you remember Hangouts at all?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
So people would just open a Hangout, like Pink or Mr. Knives would open a Hangout and go to work, and everybody would just hang out in their Hangout, and that would be on a room on gun channels, and people had different Hangouts, and everybody who was on gun channels had all these different cliques and groups and, you know, people that they hung out with, but everybody was going to Wanamaker. And Clover had set up with the promoters of the thing that we could get media passes and then even a table. So now we had a table and we had media passes, and everybody was creating content on YouTube. So we went to promote the show. And I don't remember which one that big one was, if it was like the second or third or something of them, but it kind of, you know, it happened a couple of times, and then people figured out what could be done. And then a whole bunch of people showed up for that one. And I think what I'd say a majority, I don't remember how many people, but a majority of y'all stayed in one hotel. And then some people went to a different hotel, or I don't think there was really, it was pretty much everybody was in one hotel, and then there was no, everybody else was just kind of in random places, right? I don't think there was another hotel with a bunch of people in it or anything.
No, we
So-
all stayed in one hotel.
Pretty much. So everyone came to that hotel to hang out. So what we end, because that hotel was, I forget what it was, but it was the kind of hotel that had like a
Lobby.
big lobby area with, like, you know, intentionally to hold a lot of people and entertain people. So they had like desks and tables and couches and stuff, and everyone accumulated there, and the hotel didn't care. So we did every night. And then you know, can you imagine having, I don't know how, was it 30 people, 34 something people, I think, all together with spouses and everybody else. So, you know, not everybody was all together at any one time, but, you know, there was a lot of people. So when everybody got to, when a bunch of people got together, it could be like 14, 20 people. And I don't think we went to dinner or nothing in that kind of numbers, but hanging out in that lobby, it might have gotten to like 24 people. And then at some point we took a picture, and yeah, anyway, so it was one of those nights that Night Strike can tell you the pizza story. So it was
Okay,
in that hotel one of the nights.
One of the viewers ordered pizza unbeknownst to us all, and it came, and I had decided to turn in early that night. Okay, and for whatever reason, you know, Never Enough Ammo decided to go and eat the pizza.
Well, early for the East Coast is 9 o'clock for us.
Yeah,
Or I mean, you know, late for the East Coast is 9 o'clock for us. So early for the East Coast is like 6 o'clock in the afternoon for some of us.
anyways, you know, so apparently, you know, the pizza delivery guy said he knocked on my door, which I don't even know how they got my room number.
Because there's a lobby full of people saying, oh, he's in room number or whatever.
Yeah, and so no, he's like, he's not answering. So does anybody want pizza? And that's like, sure. And then then you know, Matt, after eating like almost the entire pizza, it sees that it says Night Strike on it. So he goes and tries to bring it up to me, and I'm asleep. Okay, I fell asleep, and as soon as I wake up, you know, I'm like, what the hell is going on? What are you guys fucking doing? And apparently they decided to just give Gizzard Gary across the hall the last 2 slices of pizza. So it's just like, whatever. It's
Is
not
this
a
the
very-
same time with the drunk karaoke?
Yes. It
Okay,
wasn't the same day.
I
It
have
wasn't the same
heard
day.
this.
It was one of the days.
Gotcha.
The karaoke was one of the other days.
So the wildest story for gun channels to come out of a Wanamaker, like a place where the globe decides to sit for a weekend to see the largest of something, and the best we got is drunken karaoke and absent pizza slices.
Yes.
Come on, guys, we need to notch up the party.
We need you
Come
to
on.
go, DJ. Show them what's up.
And then Matt chastised me for not getting, a $53 Mosin M44 Type 53 receiver and bolt because I couldn't send it back. Because I flew it.
Chastisement.
Yeah,
That's
I
debauchery for sure.
I flew that time, when I went to Wanamaker, and I did not bring anything with me so I could send stuff back if I got like a gun. Okay.
With 30 something people at Wanamaker, there was maybe 5 dudes that just there to buy stuff. Like, what's his face from Connecticut, right? He's there to buy stuff. He was buying. Foss went there to buy stuff. The one dude from Texas went there to buy stuff. And then a majority of the people were either on their way to SHOT Show, or they had gone and got overwhelmed, or went to NRA and got overwhelmed, or were on their way to something. And that was an opportunity for people to get their equipment and get out there and do stuff, and actually have not just go to a range and take good video of themselves, but go there and work with other people and talk to them. And there was that whole, like, I don't know what to call that, like the same thing that would probably happen on something like a sports team or something, when people that have been doing it for a while and people that are new to the sport go somewhere and play against someone, right? Like they get that team building. So there was that team building and coaching and mentoring aspect of it. A bunch of people were bringing their cameras for the first time and using them. Owning a camera is different than using it, right? Like owning a gun is different than going to the range with it. We had range opportunities. What's Face took us to that one range. Everybody went out there and brought guns, and they rented machine guns and stuff. Some people hadn't rented machine guns before, or shot machine guns and stuff. There's an opportunity for people to hang out and chat. And in conversations like this, half the time, somebody's on the clock, somebody's off the clock, somebody's drunk, and somebody's getting up for breakfast, right? These chats can be weird. When you're at a show like that, everybody's on the same schedule, and there's a very slow pace, I guess, compared to like other things like an NRA or a SHOT Show, where you're going there to like get content. You paid a lot of money to get there. There's a lot on the line. You're trying to do what you've been practicing for. Well, Wanamaker is one of the practices. So it was there was a lot more going on. And then we had stories. I mean, there's tons of stories, but if you want to go food, or if you want to go equipment, or if you want to go relationships, or if you want to go the stupid shit like people getting in fights or whatever, or people having trouble. But we have funny stuff happening. We had tons of experience with hotels. People going to something like Wanamaker and buying a cheap hotel. Then they realize, oh, wait a minute, I'm the kind of person that needs a fancy hotel. I can't deal with a cheap hotel. And then there's people that go to Wanamaker or someplace like Wanamaker or NRA or something and go, oh, I don't need to pay for this fancy hotel. This was a complete waste of money. I don't need this. Or maybe I don't need a rental car. Maybe we can work. So there was that aspect of Wanamaker that, it's twice a year, and many people could get to it. So that time with 30 people, it was like a extract of it, or like a bigger version of it. But every Wanamaker was a smaller version of that. And so there's lots of stories about Wanamaker. But yeah,
like,
they're tame compared to like biker stories, or like, something like that. We're not on a raunchy adventure.
Yeah. Like Matt, never enough ammo. Everyone knows he hates sprinkles. So what Cycle Camp did the first day of the gun show is he went to the local Krispy Kreme in Tulsa, got donuts, and brought it and put it on the table. In the first box Matt opened up, he saw sprinkles in the box, and he was like, automatically, he's like, "What the hell, dude?" Because he hates sprinkles.
So there you go. Now you got a sprinkle story. That take it up a notch.
Does he say why he hates sprinkles?
Yeah, he's just like it's like
Because he
sugar.
doesn't understand that sprinkles are there to make it so that the frosting doesn't stick to the fucking back of the other donut.
Yeah,
He lives a coddled life of people that have individual
coddled
donuts.
anti-sprinkle life.
Here's your individual donut that you don't even know what it's like to get a donut smashed together with 100 other ones.
Wesley Foster asked, "Does Cloverleaf count?" I
You
never
are-
watched it.
You are being cast out because it's not.
What are we
a
talking about? Is that the
not a-
movie Cloverleaf?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not a Godzilla movie.
Is
Well,
that the
I-
one? Is that the one where the critter, like it's the what do they call that? Like found
It's
footage
like an
or
alien
something?
critter or something.
But I mean, it's filmed in like I'm picking up the VHS and I'm recording my friend's party, and then everything starts going crazy.
Cloverfield?
Oh, that's Cloverfield.
Oh yeah, maybe that's.
Cloverleaf. I don't know what that is.
Does it have sprinkles?
No, it does not have chocolate sprinkles.
But I never saw it. The trailers didn't look interesting to me.
Oh, you
I
never
saw
seen
it.
Cloverfield?
No, I saw the South Park making fun of them, but with the giant guinea pigs.
I've seen all three.
There's three.
They're good in their own way. I don't think they're very good together.
I think they're all right. I've seen one. I think I don't know if I've seen two or three.
Like who was
I
in
didn't-
those?
I just mean as a series. They're not a good series, but each movie is good, if that makes sense.
Extent they can hold up, but you toss
Yeah.
them together. Like who's in any of them?
Nobody. I don't think. That's the point. They're like that
The fat guy from Roseanne. What's his name?
Blair Witch program or whatever. Oh, that's one of them. I don't count that as one of them. Yeah, that's they're in the same universe then, but they're
John
different
Goodman?
stories.
John Goodman. Yeah.
Okay.
The first one though is nobody. That's the whole point. It's like somebody picked up a VHS tape and started recording their friend's party because he was going somewhere, and they were like the last party before he goes, and then in the middle of the party, all hell breaks loose, and it's some kind of dragon demon thing from space. But you don't know until the end. I probably spoiled it, but it's kind of like Godzilla because it's a giant thing smashing through a city, and it's you know how Blair Witch is. I don't know if there's a name for that, where it's like you're just watching it through somebody's VHS the whole time.
Found footage.
Yeah, is that what it is? Okay.
Mhm.
So it's that kind of movie. So that's why I liked it. It was just wasn't the best movie or nothing, but it was from that perspective of like somebody just having all this stuff happen to them, and it doesn't end except for that the camcorder shuts off once in a while. It doesn't flip into other. It's always like that. It doesn't flip into a normal movie at all. I guess it ends bad now that I'm thinking about it. I don't like the ending. Actually, it ends kind of Twilight Zone-y, but
I like 10 Cloverfield Lane out of the three. That'd be my pick.
I didn't even think it's a totally different movie. It seems like
Yeah, that's my point. As like a trilogy, they don't really work, but as individual movies.
what's
I
the
like
middle one then?
There's like one that's in space,
Oh snap!
on like a space station.
I don't think
They're
I've
doing
seen
some
that
like
one.
scientific test, and it like
Like go to a
Opens up.
cloud city and
I forgot what it's called.
the Cloverfield Strikes Back.
Return of the Cloverfield. This is great.
It says Cloverfield, 10 Cloverfield Lane, and the Cloverfield Paradox, but that's
that's
the
it.
third one.
Uh,
That one was in 2018.
It's also Revenge of the Cloverfield.
That's when they go to university and
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that the spring break one?
No. That's Attack of the Cloverfield.
I don't think I've seen that one. I'll have to watch it. It's bad though.
All of them are bad.
I don't know. I like 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Bad movie bracket. Just saying.
that's not a bad idea. Write that down, Baron.
Are you joking?
No.
Foss has got some contributions to make to that. I've suffered through a couple already by suggestion.
but I was right.
You were so right.
So Night Strike.
Yep.
Is there anything you want to plug? I think we're going to shut her down.
Yeah, check out guntube.org.
Oh, hey. Hold on. Wait, I got something for that.
Oh, thank you.
GunTube.org is a video hosting website with a streaming feature. Created by Night Strike One, a man with a dream to protect the rights to share gun-related content, GunTube.org is free to use.
Hey everyone, it's GunTube. You should go check it out.
If you are frustrated by the limitations imposed by other video sharing sites, check out GunTube.org.
Go ahead, go over to the GunTube. Shut up, you infringe!
Fantastic.
DJ,
Yes, sir.
plug away.
On Saturdays, just like a today kind of thing, except next week incarnation, right? And every week after that, Brooke Cheney's A Great Start Shooting School channel. Check out the conversation that happens there. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and anytime there's a takeover, it seems, in this crew, the Guns and Barbecue channel is a place to stop, drop by, hang out, have a good time, or not. Kind of depends on the night. Until I see you all again, be safe, have fun, carry your guns, and rock.
G-Webs?
Thanks for hosting. Thanks for the link.
So if anybody is missing a pug in Arizona,
G-Web's got it.
contact G-Webs. He'll sell it back to you.
It is right here.
Baron, anything you want to plug?
The Gilded. Come join. You can suggest terrible movies for the bracket. That is the wrong link. This is the right link.
Is it? Are you sure?
It's been a long day.
And again, no Wednesday chat after work.
So there
We have
will
a
be
phone number for your boss.
there will be a takeover then. Well, won't there?
I don't know. That's up to whoever else.
Only if you grab the opportunity now, Night Strike.
No. I wouldn't take that away from you, Guns and Barbecue.
Just say, it ain't me, mate. It ain't me.
Tell Guns and Barbecue that, Boss isn't doing a Wednesday one this week.
But there will be overnight next Saturday night, Sunday morning, depending on your area. And
Did you say you're doing something tomorrow?
oh yeah,
Gizzard Gary.
I'll do a fill in for Gizzard Gary. At least a couple hours. I don't know if I'll go the full 4 hours. Tired, got a lot on my mind. Don't know if I can last that long. But so that'll be 7 o'clock, 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern. And somewhere in between if you're somewhere in between. Other than that, I hope everybody. There we go. Hope everybody has a good rest of the night.
You still here? It's over. Go home.